Hello, I'm Ninja Greg, and you're watching The Ninja Greg Show. And this is my review of Batman the Killing Joke, a DC animated movie based on the graphic novel by the same name. And as far as adaptations go, it's pretty good. Yeah, this thing is almost the comic verbatim. Almost. Yeah, scenes in the movie are reminiscent of panels in the comic, and certain lines are taken right out of the comic. But while it is very good and I did enjoy watching it, it's not your typical Batman or superhero story. It's not a hero fighting bad guy action-packed adventure, or a noir Batman sleuth where we see him go through the process of solving the crime and bringing bad guys to justice. This is very much a character piece, just like the graphic novel was. And it's a character piece about the Joker. It's essentially the story of his origin story, and it's probably the most definitive one you're going to find. And even the Joker himself admits that he remembers his own backstory, or his own past rather, differently. Sometimes he remembers it one way, sometimes he remembers it another. And like in the comic, we shift between the events in present time and the Joker's possible past to how he came to be who he is. And so, yeah, it is a little bit quieter, a little bit more restrained, but it's also a little bit more dramatic. And, yeah, like I said, I kind of liked it. But I do have a couple of complaints. Let's get the most obvious one out of the way. One, everybody who's already reviewed this movie has mentioned before. Yes, the completely unneeded, unnecessary 30-minute prologue with Batgirl, and I am well aware of her and Batman having bat sex. So, yeah. It was just unneeded, completely unnecessary, did nothing to advance the story. It doesn't take away from the story either, so it's just completely pointless, and I don't understand why the decision was made to put that in. You can just skip over the first half hour of this movie and you won't miss a thing. And the other thing I kind of take issue with is the R rating. Not because it got one, but because it doesn't really deserve one. It's not excessively violent or gory. There's not a crap ton of swearing. There's no real nudity in the movie. It's all very much implied, just like how it was in the graphic novel. And there were disturbing or scary images, but honestly, I've seen worse. Granted, I wouldn't show it to kids, but yeah, this is hardly worth the R rating. This is like, if it was a school project, to make a Batman story for some kind of film studies class and make it have the kind of content that would deserve an R rating, this would be a solid C minus, but still a C. Just maybe the bare minimum to get a passing grade. Yeah, I own and seen other R-rated movies that most definitely earned their rating, but this, it hardly seems worth it in my opinion. But I guess DC was just trying to be edgy, and it's like, oh hey, our first animated film with a hard R rating, even though they're always trying to be edgy and dark with their live action movies. So really, what's even the point? But yeah, if you're a fan of the Joker and you kind of want to get some hint as to where he came from and learn a little bit more about him, and especially if you've read the Killing Joke graphic novel, I do recommend this one. Just skip over the first half hour or so. Trust me, you're not missing anything. It doesn't add anything, it doesn't take away anything, it's filler. Which is odd because if they had just left that prologue out, I'd say it's a pretty faithful adaptation, and that's honestly something that's kind of rare for me to see. A movie that's just a completely verbatim adaptation on a comic book. But yeah, for what it is, it's all right. So, anyways, that was Batman: The Killing Joke. I'm Ninja Greg. You've been watching the Ninja Greg Show. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and click that bell for notifications so you know when I put up something new again. I'll see you next time.